All right. So before I go walking, I wanted to just share this with you. I for about I would say a year and a few months. God had dropped in my spirit that my season of sowing, my season of working hard, my season of the pruning process was ending, and that I was entering into a place of rest, entering into the promised land. And for many of you, the promised land speaks different. For me, what was revealed to me, and for many of you, oftentimes, the promised land starts with your state of beliefs. When you think of the Israelites, the reason why they were in the wilderness for as long as they were was due to the fact of their disobedience and their lack of belief in what God was showing them. Um, so there is the operative word in all of this is obeying and trusting the voice of God and understanding what season that you are in. And for many of you, might be operating in a place of fear, in a place of lack, and you're afraid to let go, or you might be accustomed to grinding, working, and there is nothing wrong with working. Hear me out. There's nothing wrong with that. I am not talking about that work is wrong. My whole point of me sharing this with you is all about obedience and following and trusting the voice of God and understanding where you are in your season. Bible talks about there's a time for reaping, there's a time for sowing. Even if you think about the farmer, there's a time where you're plowing at the soil. There's a time for rest, right? So there's understanding those seasons. Even if you think about the rhythm of how God has created nature and how God has created the earth, there is a reason for seasons, right? There's a summer, you wouldn't wear a sweater in the summertime, or you wouldn't wear shorts when it's winter time, depending on where you are. Southern California is a little bit different, but you get my point. um, so it's really all about going with the rhythm and flow of where God has you, and really about also what I have learned, it is about trust. So just as much as you worked hard when you felt God pruning you in the process, and you were, listening to him, and you were close to him, and you were following what he was telling you to do, God's is still the shepherd even in all of your seasons. So it's not that God is the shepherd in the place of the valley. God is also your shepherd in the place of the mountaintop. God is God in all of your seasons. And so when God is, I really had to do a mind shift. It was a total mind shift that I had to lean into by faith when I felt the pull and when I heard God said, rest is your promised land. And it took me some time, and it really isn't until now that I am more absorbed, more soaked into that word that constantly has spoken to me ever since I heard God speak this to me. Even in the same, when God was telling me that it was a season of cleansing, a season of praying, a season of shifting, a season of transformation with the inside out. I had to follow that. And when that chapter was over, I had to follow those footsteps as God was leading me, and do it afraid and not lean into my own understanding. And so rest is not when God is calling you to rest, is not about a place of laziness. When God is calling you to rest, it's about a place of trust, about a place of obedience, about a place of not relying on your own strength, but relying on the strength of God. And trusting as the Holy Spirit leads you, and you abide with God. You become one with God. You become intertwined with God. And so things become, you become more of a magnet of what already is for you. So I hope that makes sense. What season are you in? Yeah, so I coach people and I help people on their path. So if you would like help on really just navigating and figuring out, having clarity on where you are, I coach people through this as well. So I'll leave the link at the bottom, and that's it. You guys have a great day.